In this episode, I'm going over what a day in the life of a help desk analyst may look like. If you're looking to land this position, let me know in the comments. And also, if you haven't seen my video on a day in the life of a computer operator, please check that out also. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Welcome to Debt Free in IT. I'm your host, Mike. This podcast is for anyone who's looking to get into the IT industry, whether it's a career change or you're just interested. You come to the right place. So first things first, this help desk role, you'll see that is some real similarities to the computer operator role, with the only difference is help desk is mainly on the phones the whole time, and there's some other duties that they have that we'll get into here shortly. But the computer operator, if you saw that video, the computer operator generally is stationed inside the data center and they have to run backups, monitor the servers, and pay attention to the cooling in the data center, things of that nature. So most of those items the help desk doesn't have to do. So some typical duties of a help desk analyst, the first thing and the main thing and the primary thing is taking support calls. And then depending on your environment, your help desk may also be responsible for building new users as they get hired through the company and get put in the system. Let's take a look at taking support calls as a help desk analyst. So, help desk analyst, like I said earlier, your main job is mainly taking support calls. So, depending on your environment, these calls could range from anywhere from 50 to upwards to 100 a day. Sometimes the calls could be something simple where someone calling in and it's their first time logging into a PC and they need to have their password reset. Sometimes I would love those help desk calls because those are the simple and easy ones. Sometimes someone may call, don't even know their username, so you need to look them up in the system, verify that they are who they say they are, and then be able to reset their password then. And then you may have some hard issues, such as it may be depending on what applications you have in your environment. May have, because what happens is when users have any kind of issues, if it's technical, they're calling the help desk. So if they're in a certain application that you have and they start to get errors or if something's not working correctly, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the one to get that call. So if you're on a small help desk, you're going to get more calls. If it's a larger help desk, the calls is broken up pretty evenly within the queue. So you may not get that many calls. But if they're having any kind of issues with the application, you're going to be the one to get that call. So this is good and bad. It's bad if you're working at the help desk and you're getting slammed, bombarded by calls, call after call after call. Because time you hang up and get ready, another call's coming in. But it's good because just like that computer operator role, getting these phone calls from various areas of issues and various areas of specializations in IT, you get a good knowledge on what's going on in your environment, and then you're able to get good or be proficient on the applications that you're troubleshooting. Because what some companies would do is they will have what's called a knowledge base or a knowledge database. So if you get a call on, let's say, Office 365, there's probably some known issues that the server analysts or some of the engineers have already encountered. And then they just update the knowledge database with how to fix that issue. So as a help desk analyst, you get a call about Office 365. You go into your knowledge database, look and see if there's some of the issues that has already been seen before and already have been resolved. And then you're able to, whatever the issue, wherever the fix was, you're able to just do it for the user and fix it. Now, sometimes you're going to get those new issues that may not be in the knowledge database. So then you may have to do your research. You can try some troubleshooting steps yourself. But overall, you may end up escalating that ticket to the next level. So that's one good thing about taking many calls as a help desk analyst. One person is not just building new users every week. So, and then it could be a dedicated position to where you're a help desk analyst, but maybe you're not on the phones as much because you're building new users all the time. This is good and bad. It's good because if you don't like being on the phones, then this role you may not be able to be on the phones as much, or the only time you may be called upon to be on the phones is if a big issue is going on and the phone queues are loaded. Like the phone queues, people just calling left and right. Your system's down and they need extra people to get on the phone. So you may be called upon to get on the phones for that reason. But other than that, if everything is going good on your network in your environment, your only job may be just building new employees. So in the long run, you may not learn much about the other systems. You may not necessarily see what department you want to end up in, but in the short term, you're not on the phones. And trust me, if you have been on the phones, it's not nothing to brag about. I remember when I was young, I used to think that people in a call center had the easiest jobs. I was like, yo, you ain't doing nothing but talking on the phone all day. And trust me, I've never been so wrong in my life. My first call center job, you hear me talk about it numerous of times. My first call center job was also the first job I ever quit. I walked out with no backup plan. I didn't have a second job to go to. I didn't have no jobs that I think I could get. I walked out with no backup plan at all. So that just lets you know how much I hated call centers and talking on the phone. So, who is this help desk analyst job for? So, you're going to hear me say this numerous of times. Like I said, I'm trying to pound it in your head, but this job, believe it or not, is good for someone who's trying to get their foot in the door also. So, these help desk analyst, computer operator roles, um, not going to say they're easy to get, but compared to an engineer role or a networking role, a server role, a cybersecurity role. These jobs here, I consider them more of a low hanging fruit. So they would be good to aim for to get your foot in the door. Then once you get in your foot in the door, then you learn as much as you can in your position. And then when the time is right, you make your move to another position. You get out of that help desk. Because trust me, you're not going to like working at the help desk, but when you move to another department, you're going to fall in love with working in IT the same way I did. So, this role is good for any beginner that's trying to get their foot in the door. But once you get your foot in the door, do not become complacent to where you don't want to move up. If I had to look back and do everything over, I would have tried to move up in different roles before I actually did. It took me a while to get it in my head what I needed to do, but I'm letting you know now so you don't have to go through that hassle. But if you're trying to get your foot in the door and you've been having no luck, try the help desk analyst role. If you're finding value in this episode, please leave me a review or a comment. If you have a friend that needs to hear this episode, please share this episode with them and ask them to like and subscribe. Also, if you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave me a review. It helps out the channel to get pushed to more avenues and more people can hear about the podcast. So I would like to thank you in advance because I'm pretty sure you're going to rock with me and you're going to share this episode. Let's look at certifications for the help desk analyst. First of all, this role could be easily gotten without no certification at all, but the certification, especially a higher certification, may be what gets you in the door. You know, for me, the CCNA is what got me in the door at a lower role, and then I was able to move up. So if you have a higher certification, this may be what gets you in the door. But if I had to pick a certification that leans more towards an IT support role or maybe like a help desk analyst role, I would probably say Google's IT support certification, Microsoft's IT support certification, and also Cisco's new CCST networking certification. And also, they have a new CCST for cybersecurity also. So some of those certifications and also like A plus, usually that lean well, works well towards a help desk analyst role also. So any of those certifications I think will be good for if you're just aiming to get into help desk. But as always, if you're aiming for something higher than the help desk, I would go ahead and get the certification that is needed for that role. And then if you're not having luck landing a job, then start applying for lower roles just to get your foot in the door. So let's look at pay. So the average salary for a computer operator that I've went over before is $19.55, and that's in the US. A help desk analyst comes in at a little more, with the average salary being $20.60 an hour. That's hourly salary. So from my experience, the help desk always makes a little bit more from the computer operator. To some, it may sound weird because that computer operator role, you're doing more tasks. The help desk, you're mainly on the phone. You may be building users. You may go out on the floor every now and then, but compared to that computer operator role, you're looking after a data center, you're checking servers in the data center, you're making sure the temperature stays the correct temp in the data center, then you're answering calls also. So you would think that everything would be reversed, where they make more than a help desk analyst, but in most cases, the help desk analyst is going to make a little bit more. So if it was a step which is higher, which is in a higher tier, I would say the computer operator will become first, and then a move up would be a help desk analyst. So just being honest though, this position is not necessarily done by everyone who's in IT. So some people like me, myself, so some people like me, when I came in as an operator, and then I moved to the help desk. But I've known plenty of people who skipped the help desk total and just went to whatever position they wanted, let's say a desktop position. And then I've also seen people who skipped operations and the help desk and got in on the position that they wanted. So everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. But what I'm giving you is some strategies to try if you're running out of luck and things ain't going your way. But also remember that it's not going to come fast. So if you're just getting out of school, it may not come as soon as you want, but trust me, as long as you keep applying, it will come. So that wraps up this episode. Don't forget to follow me on IG and TikTok at Debt Free and IT. If you have any questions or comments or topic suggestions, please email them to me at debtfreeandit@gmail.com. And I check all comments. If it's a question, usually I'll reply back, but also I'll save that question because I plan on answering questions in an upcoming video. So, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on all social media, and I'll see you next episode. Peace.